Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and in today's video, we are going to take another look at the Sauna Pod 2.0. Now, if you watched last week's video, I covered the 5 upgraded features of the Sauna Pod, and afterwards, I received a ton of questions, whether on DMs on Instagram or email, or even in the comment section down below, asking specific questions about the Sauna Pod, and I've seen a lot of the same questions being asked all over the internet. So in today's video, I want to go ahead and answer all those frequently asked questions that you guys have. All right, now our very first question comes from Chiawu. Isn't the see-through window plastic? Great question. Now, of course, this is the number one question that I see everybody ask about the Sauna Pod is whether or not the materials that it's made of are free of any harmful chemicals. Because of course, if you're using a health and wellness device such as this, you want to make sure that it's not off-gassing or anything of the sort. And so I reached out to the pod company and asked them specifically about the components that the Sauna Pod is made of. And here is what they came back with. They say that the window of the Sauna Pod is a food-grade TPU, that it's rated for temperatures up to 220 degrees Fahrenheit. It's free of BPA, phthalates, and any other harmful chemicals. It's odorless, contains 0 toxic chemicals, and that actually goes for the PVC flooring as well. It's basically made of the same material. And so hopefully that answers that question. Okay, so question number 2, can the Sauna Pod be used both indoors and outdoors? So to answer that, technically, yes, you can. However, there are some limitations there. Now, I, for example, have had my Sauna Pod out on the back patio under a covered gazebo for a good part of the year. Now, having said that, it's not exposed to any direct rain, direct sunlight, anything like that. And the heater itself is not waterproof whatsoever. It cannot get wet. And although the Sauna Pod is covered in kind of like a beeswax material, which makes it a little bit more water resistant, it's definitely not meant to be directly exposed to rain. Now, if you want to get the best results from the Sauna Pod, you want to keep it in a climate controlled environment because it'll just simply lose too much heat and won't get hot enough inside. And that leads me to question number 3, which is very similar, which is, does it actually get to 185 degrees? So the short answer is yes, the Sauna Pod can get to 185 degrees. However, there are some conditions that need to be met. Let me explain. So when I first received the Sauna Pod this last spring and I set it up outside, it was about 60 to 70 degrees outside. And so for that reason, it struggled a little bit to get to the temperature that high. I would really see about 165, 170 degrees. And that was still actually plenty hot inside. I mean, I would sweat like crazy. It would take, the warm-up time would be a little bit longer, but it still was very effective. Now, during peak summer, on the other hand, when it was about 90 degrees outside, it was easily hitting 185. And in fact, it was about twice as intense inside. And I really actually had to dial back the amount of time that I spent inside of it. So that was kind of interesting to see. But my point is that if you have the Sauna Pod in like your garage, your basement, something like that, and it's very cool, yeah, it might struggle to get to 185 degrees. So you might have to throw some kind of like blanket over the top or something like that, just to help insulate the Sauna Pod. Okay, moving on to question number 4. How do you clean the Sauna Pod? Now, in reality, the Sauna Pod does not require a whole lot of maintenance, and the area that's going to require the most attention would be the floor and potentially the window. And to clean those, really all you need is a non-toxic, plant-based cleaner. Just wipe it down, and that's really all it takes. Other than that, just kind of keep the door open and let it air out. It doesn't really absorb a whole lot of moisture into the canvas material itself because it has that coating on it. But besides that, it's very simple. Okay, and let's move on to question number 5, which is how much time should you actually spend inside the Sauna Pod? Now, how long you stay inside the sauna will really be based on how much tolerance you've actually developed to it. So if you are brand new to getting into a sauna, I would recommend going for about 10-15 minutes and kind of see how you feel. Do you feel nausea, dizziness, anything like that? If you don't, great. Then maybe as your tolerance increases, you can increase that time. For those that are more experienced with the sauna, some of those people will stay in for like 30 to 45 minutes, and that's okay as long as they know their own limitations. But the number one concern I think that everybody should have is just take into account your personal safety so that you can continue using it without any sort of repercussions. Okay, now question number 6, is the Sauna Pod HSA FSA eligible? And the short answer to that is yes, it is a heat therapy that falls under the health and wellness category, which if medically approved, you'll be able to use it. Okay, so that about wraps it up for this video. Now, if I did not answer a specific question that you have, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section down below. If you'd like to get $50 off the Sauna Pod, I actually do have a promo code listed in the description as well. But I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.